Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Religious Trauma Counseling YouTube channel. I'm Robert Espio. I'm a former priest and religious monastic. I have a lot of experience living in closed religious communities and understand how hard it can be to leave that life and make changes. I'm also a licensed therapist with over 30 years of experience, and I've worked with religious trauma internationally for the last 10 years. So today I want to talk just for a few minutes about how do we go about finding help for religious trauma in a way that is respectful. Because recently I've heard from a few therapists that some unethical stuff happens where clients come to a therapist and the therapist says, "But I can't help you with religious trauma. You have to leave your religion first," and likens being in the religion to being with an abuser. So it's clear that these people have no experience of their own, growing up in a closed religious environment where maybe your family's been in this for generations. So they don't necessarily understand that you have to leave your family, leave your friends, leave your dog, leave a whole community. Being shunned or being kicked out of the group, it can be incredibly painful and devastating, much more than just leaving a religion and the ideology of it. So it's very important to really reflect on this when we're considering leaving the group, or we don't maybe we don't want to leave the group yet. Maybe we're not ready to do that. Maybe we just want to really just change our own views, our own beliefs. Maybe we want to find another way of approaching what we believe. There's a lot of different approaches we can take in this. But when you shop around a little bit for help in getting out of religious trauma, you're basically going to find three avenues. Okay. And this is what I want to stress to everybody. The first is the old style of cult deprogramming. So the term deprogramming was really coined in the 70s when the emergence of new religious movements peaked across the US. It was often guised as an intervention. Deprogramming is really the practice of convincing cult members to renounce their group's ideology using whatever methods are deemed necessary. And these methods really aim at reversing mind control, brainwashing, but they're often really extreme and inhumane. We believe that deprogramming sends a condescending message to you as you seek recovery. That message being basically, you're a poorly programmed robot, you're stupid, you're weak minded, or foolish for joining this alternative religion. Let's reprogram you again to society's form of conditioning. So, this is a really old approach, right? There's a correct way of thinking, and that's society's way. There's an incorrect way, which is your family's way. So the problem with the word cult is that it's pretty vague, and the original definition of cult, it's really a system of religious veneration. So all religions begin as cults, and the other problem with the word cult is that it really implies that people who are growing up in the religion are stupid or naive, and this is a pretty problematic view since a lot of people that grow up had no choice and no choice in it at all, and doesn't necessarily mean they're stupid. This is just the only thing that they know. So, really, as current trauma research shows, religious trauma doesn't disappear by simply downloading a new set of information and deconstructing your old one. It doesn't necessarily, that does not necessarily address the PTSD. This kind of outdated approach is really uninformed by a lot of neuroscience, by the understanding of how PTSD actually works, and really doesn't set you up for a successful recovery from religious trauma. The more common approach you'll tend to see now is the cognitive behavioral atheistic approach. And this is common because when we're in a religion, religion gives us a real sense of certainty that makes us feel safe. When you question or you leave a religious system, you will often feel the rise of an existential anxiety. And if you decide to leave that religion, you may suddenly experience a lot of real uncertainty about your life. Now, suddenly, all the certainty went away. You had this book that told you how to live, how to dress, how to think, and that's gone. And the truth, which you kind of created your life on, now has collapsed beneath you. So there can be a big vacuum where your truth used to be, and you might feel a sense of desperation to fill it up. So any sense of certainty to replace this loss may seem welcome. A lot of people move out of their religion into, I was good, now I have to be bad. I have to become a Satanist. I have to become a drug addict, an alcoholic. Some people get really into the other extreme of total scientific atheism, and they're not really just getting into science, they're getting sort of into the opposite extreme. Scientific atheism offers a certainty for them. So there isn't this time to allow you to find your own truth and explore your own truth. It's out of one extreme into the next extreme. Um, I think it's in Star Wars, it says only Sith Lords think in extremes. So we may want to consider not taking that approach because it's really just out of one thing and back into another. So American helping professionals often espouse this cognitive atheistic approach, not allowing clients to explore their own reality and their own truth. We often project onto them our own wounds, and we need to be very careful about that. So be very careful about finding someone that really just wants to project their own view of truth and reality onto you. So many therapists and counselors really don't understand the unique qualities of religious trauma. Instead, they advise throwing out all religion and all spirituality and trusting the facts. And sometimes people may not be ready for this, another all or nothing approach. Sometimes we need to take some time. We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And so sometimes we just want to leave our family's view of religion, or we want to keep some views, but we don't want to be thrown out of the community. We don't want to lose everything. And most people that leave religion, especially closed religious communities, need a slow, gradual approach. And this is really important. So, what we really suggest here is what we call a gnostic approach. And that really, we're using that term from more Jungian psychology. This idea that we have a direct knowing, right? Gnosis is a Greek word which refers to direct conscious knowing. So, in other words, it's really up to the client to learn how to trust their heart, trust their own emotions again, to trust their ability to see their own reality and interpret their own reality. It's really important that the client learns how to trust their own conscious experiences and their own feelings, and learns emotional regulation, and really comes to understand how to come back to this place. It's important not to seek a therapist or counselor who's going to be projecting onto you a new religion of Western psychology or science or some other view. And really, they should be helping you to discover what really feels right for you and what really helps you to feel safe. So, because in the end, really the bottom line is we want to be able to feel safe inside. We all have the right toward that, and be able to just trust that it's okay to feel autonomy. It's okay to be able to have boundaries. It's okay to feel safe. So we really hope that's helpful to you in some way, and we really hope that you will stay in touch and keep watching our videos as they come out. Thank you so much.